Fox News contributor Mercedes Schlapp and the chairman of the American Conservative Union, their chairman, Matt Schlapp. Mercedes, I'll start with you. The Democrats hated him until he went after Trump. And then, of course, James Comey all day, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. My opinions, but I could be wrong. I mean, seriously? How many times can you be wrong and speculate?
Well, the Democrats, obviously, they're using James Comey because they like that idea when James Comey is calling the president a liar, loosely using that language, which is just outrageous coming from James Comey and from the Democrats. So for them, they use him for one particular purpose, while at the same time, James Comey has been one which on both sides of the aisle has a very tainted reputation, has had many missteps, and really can't be trusted. And so I think there's a credibility problem when it comes to James Comey, especially when you go through this testimony and then you find out, for example, that he was for example, didn't listen to Loretta Lynch and obeyed what she said on whether it was a matter instead of an investigation in regards to the Clinton probe, and didn't push forward and suggest a special counsel on that investigation. And then there's a double standard when it comes to President Trump because he doesn't trust President Trump. I mean, there's just so many questions, I think, that we're seeing coming out of this testimony that we need answers to.
Yeah. Well, what's your take, Matt? I could be wrong. My impression, and then the Democrats hated him, but then they started loving him.
There's so much to say here, and you've said so much tonight, but I'll just say a couple of things. Today was a great day because we all got to see the goods Jim Comey had on the president. And you know what, Sean? There's nothing there. And it was really interesting that he let his testimony out the day before, and today really was a nothing burger. But you know what was there? There's actually, I think the hunter is going to become. Jim Comey made some real mistakes today. For the first time, he actually is going to turn the focus more on him. And I think he's got some real explaining to do on this leak. He's got some real explaining to do on the fact that it looks like Loretta Lynch was trying to chill his actions as an investigator. And I think all this time that Donald Trump has had to answer all these questions, there's nothing there.
Nothing. And it really is amazing. Mercedes, you mentioned Loretta, and Matt mentioned Loretta. I want to go back to this. Between the tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton, and then can you not say investigation and use the word matter instead? And he capitulated to that. I should have been stronger. I needed to be stronger. I didn't know what to do. Yeah.
I think it just shows the indecisiveness of James Comey. I think that it very much represents his character flaws in a lot of ways, where he can't be bold enough and strong enough to say, Mr. President, we should not be meeting. This is not a good idea.
Right.
You have members of your team that are under investigation. Why not stand up to the president? And it's because he didn't want to lose his job. He was very focused on that issue, Sean.
Yeah, that's a good. And he also wanted, as Laura Ingraham said, wanted to keep that sort of that shit in a box to keep his job, perhaps, or for some other reason, right? And violating perhaps 18 U.S.C. 4 in the process. But I just want to know what happens to Loretta Lynch here, Matt. Loretta Lynch got a lot of explaining to do, and perhaps others.
This is why some people decide not to testify in front of Congress, because it's a tricky thing. And what Jim Comey did actually today is he opened up doors that were pretty much sealed. And people want to know, okay, well, wait a minute. What does this mean that Loretta Lynch was kind of chilling your activities? That's the very thing you're accusing Donald Trump of. And so I think that's right. Look, here's what we all know about Jim Comey. I know this from my White House years because I had to talk to him when he was hired by the Bush administration. He makes Republicans feel like he's a Republican. He makes Democrats feel like he's a Democrat. He's whatever flavor you want on the menu. And today, the American people got to see that.
Is he deep state in the sense that, here he's leaking to the press. Here the attorney for the president goes out, rightly so, talking about the selective leaking designed to hurt the president of the United States, Mercedes. Does he fit into that category? Because I suspect he does.
Look, I don't think this is the first time James Comey has leaked to the press. I think that he is part of that deep state. I think that he's trying to be this moralistic character, and at the end, what he's doing is, while he's saying that he's criticizing the media for getting it dead wrong on the coverage on, like, the Russian investigation, for instance, he's the first one to go out there and leak this government-produced document, which presents a problem for James Comey for doing this.
Yeah, the last 20 seconds or so, we give it to you, Matt. Although Mercedes really deserves it.
Look, she's the star of our show for sure.
Oh,
let me tell you,
I agreed.
I agree.
Schlapp.
I'll say this was a good day for the president because as the facts come forward and we actually get to see the information, there's nothing there, and it's time to get back to the country's business.